Joining us now is John Matthews, the Executive Director of the Community Safety Institute and author of Mass Shootings, 6 Steps to Survival. John, good to talk to you. Based on your knowledge of past shootings, what can you tell us about this event?
Well, this is looking more and more like workplace violence, and workplace violence is the #1 cause of mass shootings in this country, followed by church shootings and then school shootings. And usually in workplace violence, we see a single shooter or a lone gunman, a disgruntled employee who is going to take out his frustrations, feelings, usually on primary targets, individuals in the workplace, and then once he takes them out, he opens up fire on anyone that he can shoot or anyone that he can see. This is looking more like a workplace violence incident. We'll know, though, when we find out more about the second suspect.
Yeah, I'll get to that more on the workplace violence side of this in just a second. If you were working up this case, if you were leading the investigation on this, I'll put you in that position. What do you want to know about Aaron Alexis?
I want to know everything I can about him. I want to know his background. I want to know his associates. I want to know his relationships. I want to know his beliefs. What does he believe in? And I need to know his motive. And motive is very important because, again, it's going to lead us down a path towards, was it a lone individual that is disgruntled and we don't have to worry about further attacks? Or is this a group? Is this a cell? Is this a terrorist type incident where we may have to worry about other people that suffered the same indiscretions or whatever that he believes he did, and they may want to lash out at their employers?
And since we keep seeing these kinds of mass shootings, what advice, what tips can you provide to people who are watching us so that they can better protect themselves?
Well, anyone can look at the book Mass Shootings, 6 Steps for Survival and understand that the first thing they have to do is exit. And we heard many witnesses today say they heard gunshots, but it was a minute or two later before someone told them to seek cover or to exit the building. We've got to realize with the number of shootings that we're having in this country, if you hear something strange or out of place, an explosion or gunshots, you've got to get out of there. You've got to get away from the shooter as fast as possible. Exiting is the #1 thing you can do. After that, to find cover. Protect yourself from the bullets. That gunman is going to be on a mission. He's going to be moving quickly through your building, and he's going to be shooting at any targets that are in his line of sight. Find protective cover, such as a structural beam on a part of the building, or a concrete pad, something like that. And if you can't do either of those, find concealment. Hide from that shooter and get out of his line of sight.
John, so as you mentioned, this is a shooting that happened at a workplace for thousands. David Schuster is here. And David, what were you saying, about 3,000 people?
Yeah, about 3,000.
Okay, about 3,000 people work at that facility. Do you find, generally speaking, that companies are developing plans on how to respond to workplace violence incidents?
Well, I think corporations are a little bit below. I think they're behind the schools a little bit. We had the school shootings, Columbine, Jonesboro, Pearl, Paducah, and schools are really ahead of the corporations right now. But again, with workplace violence being the #1 reason for these mass shootings, we've got to do more in corporate America to reach out to our employees and say, this is how you protect yourself, and these are the specific steps you can take to survive one of these horrible incidents.
All right, John, appreciate it. I want to quickly go to the mayor, Mayor Gray, Vincent Gray, Washington,